Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to today's video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. And I'm very excited because I've picked out 25 books that I have on my shelves, some that I don't have on my shelf, and I definitely want to get into some memoirs. So I'm very excited. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do, I should probably mention, I'm going to be doing my TBR a little bit differently. That will be the next video that you guys see for January. And I have a couple of different categories. And so one of the categories is 25 books to read in 2025. It is in my Wonder Woman cup. And I have the title of every book in here. And now they're all over the floor. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing my TBR a little bit differently. I'm going to be using a cup with little pieces of paper that say 1 through 6, and 1 through 6 correspond to a different type of thing. So number 1 is a physical book, 2 is a non-physical book, so that's a Kindle Unlimited book, something I have on my iPad, an audio book, that kind of thing. 3 is a prompt jar. Also, very kindly, I'm going to be using this prompt jar for a little while until all these prompts are gone. This is from my boyfriend for Christmas. It's very sweet. He made prompts based on our relationship. So instead of using my regular prompts for a while, I'm going to use these until they're gone. But very exciting and cute. Number 4 is going to be 25 and 25. So I'll just pick a book from here. Number 5 is continuing a series because I am in the middle of 10 probably. And then number 6 is going to be a free pick. And I put more free picks in there because I always end up with more books than I can actually read. In particular, in January, there are 3 books on here that I really would like to read in January, and I have to read. One is a buddy read, one is my book club book, and the third one is my, what is it called? It is the best book that was published in January of 2024. So I'm also going to be doing that with my TBR, is making sure that I'm reading the best book from the previous year, like 12 months ago. If that makes sense, maybe if it counts as, I don't know, whatever. I'm going to be making sure I read the top book from the month the year before. So February will be February 2024, etc. You get it, I hope. Anyway, so that is what's going on here. But this video is actually just to go over the top 25 books that I read and want to read in 2025. Some of them are physical, some of them are not physical. Some of them I have bought an audiobook for. There was a big audiobook sale. And there's things that I also, like the memoirs, I'm probably going to get on audio. So I'm just going to pull them out one by one from here and see and talk to you guys about them and make sure they're all in here. This is also a good test for that. I have a pen somewhere so I can check off the ones that I pull out because I have a big old notebook here. So I'm actually going to grab a highlighter because there's already checks all over this thing. So I'll be right back and we'll start talking about the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. All right, so I'm just going to pick from here and then mark them off the list just to double task here and make sure I have all of them in here. The first one is Part of Your World. Okay, so this is by Abby Jimenez. I want to read this because it's a romance novel, and I read a romance novel this year that I really, really liked, and I'd like to read more contemporary romance. And this trilogy, the Part of Your World trilogy, is available on KU, and I'm like, oh, obviously, then I should probably read it. Where did my list go? What's happening? Yes, okay, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It's on Kindle Unlimited, which is really great, so I don't have to buy it. I did accidentally buy Part of Your World before knowing, or not Part of Your World, just for the summer, I think. I don't know, it's the third book in the trilogy. I actually have purchased that accidentally when I was buying books. Some of them I also physically don't have, but they're on the way to me now. So yeah, it's the first book in a trilogy of contemporary romances by Abby Jimenez. It's very, very popular. I want to get more into contemporary romance, and that's the first one. Okay, next we have got, let's see, Pride and Prejudice. Okay, so I've had Pride and Prejudice on my TBR before. It's actually in this really big book down here that I don't think you guys can see, but I have the complete works of Jane Austen. I got this at Costco over a year ago, and I've read it a little bit, but I haven't really I've read, I think, 5 chapters or something. Yeah, I'm on chapter 6. So I definitely want to finish at least one Jane Austen novel. And once I finish one Jane Austen novel in here, I'm going to put the next one into my physical book thing. So, but Pride and Prejudice definitely first. It's definitely a movie and a story that I really like. You can see on the back it has all 6 of her books on here. So I'm very excited to read that. It's a classic. I haven't read a ton of classics in my life. I mean, I've read the ones that you have to in school, but not Pride and Prejudice, you know? And like, I think I'm a Pride and Prejudice girl. You know, I think I'm a Jane Austen girl. More romance. That's what I need. Let me check that one off. Oh no, they're not even all on here. What have I done? Okay, well, I'll just put them in groups of 5, and if I miss one, we'll go back to my phone where I actually wrote them all through and figure it out. Okay, next we have got James. So James, this is a book, I believe it's a literary fiction. It's on its way to me now. It is by Percival somebody. I don't know the authors for all of these. Oh, Percival Everett. That's who wrote it. It's in a reimagining of Huckleberry Finn. It was a very, very popular book this year, and my boyfriend's name happens to be James. So I decided to put that on there, a little honor to him. It's probably not going to be like him at all, but you know. Quicksilver. Okay, Quicksilver is one of the most popular fantasies from last year. It's been on my Kindle for a little while, but I haven't read it yet, and I definitely want to. So I will start reading that one in this year. I have to. And yeah, Quicksilver, it's just like a romantasy. I believe it's a spicy romance fantasy, I think. I'm not really sure. Hopefully it's very big on the fantasy world. I like that better. But definitely a really popular one from last year that I definitely want to read. Next, we have got The Life Impossible. So this came out in 2024. Oh God, it's still technically 2024 when I'm filming this. You'll probably see it before the new year. Who knows? But this is by Matt Haig. Matt Haig is one of my favorite authors. I've read The Humans. I've read The Midnight Library. I've read something else by him. It was Orange. I can't remember the name right now, but I have talked about it on my channel before. And this was his newest release. I even got like the Kindle, or not the Kindle, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition because I just thought it was so beautiful, and I really love him as an author. Haven't read it. So we got to make sure we do that. We're going to put you back on the shelf, my dear. This is going to get all messed up, and I'm going to have to figure it out at the end here. But that is 1 through 5. Okay, moving on. We've got number 6 is The Ministry of Time. Okay, so this is a science fiction novel, I believe. Another one that I have on the way to me right now. I placed an order with Amazon and with Book Outlet for some of the books that they had. So it's always like good to shop on the other websites to see if I can like get anything cheaper. If I'm buying like one book, I'll go to like the used book websites. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's definitely one that I have used before to buy used books. Like if I get a book club book and I don't want to purchase a new one, or if it's not on KU, I will buy it that way. But The Ministry of Time is a science fiction novel. It was, again, like one of the top rated books from last year. I don't think it won any categories. If it did, I would just pick the next one in that thing that I'm doing. But yeah, so that's number 6. Number 7, the next book that I want to read is The 7-Year Slip. This is a book that I have. It is right here. This is one that's just been on my shelf, and I want to make sure I read it. It seems so good. This is like kind of a time travel type thing where the woman inherits an apartment from her aunt, I believe. Her aunt dies. She inherits the apartment, and she says, like, don't fall in love, but there happens to be a man who lives there because it was 6 years ago, and there's some sort of love story that goes on. It just seems like the kind of fantasy book or the kind of romance that I would like. I did include some of books that I have, and I like want to make sure that I read them. So The 7-Year Slip is definitely one I plan to read in 2025. Heartless Hunter. Okay, this one is on Kindle Unlimited. This is about a witch and a witch hunter. I have heard really mixed reviews on this, but it seems like something I would probably like. So I definitely want to try to read that. And the next one is coming out, I think, in like February or March or something. I'm not sure, but I definitely want to read it. Some of them like have no good reason other than I want to read it. So this is A Man Called Ove. So that is also on KU, but thankfully and very sweetly, my sister sent it to me as a Christmas gift this year. So I got A Man Called Ove and a bunch of other Frederick Bachman books. I think it was a pack of 6. So I'm very excited to read this. This is definitely something I want to read and then maybe recommend to my book club to read, because it's supposed to be like kind of like looking at life in general, and I like that. And it's not super long, and I think people in my book club would appreciate that. So when it's my turn, it'll be one of the 3 books that I suggest. Like, the way we do it in my book club is each person has a month, and you say, okay, here's 3 books, pick from one. And then everyone votes on one of those 3 books. So I think it should be really good. I'm very excited to read this one. It's very highly rated and definitely one I want to read. Frederick Bachman, I think it's hilarious. I've never read anything from him, but I've seen that famous interview or that famous speech he did, and so funny. Okay, number 10, I believe, Normal People by Sally Rooney. I got this from my cousin's wife for Christmas, actually. So she went to a used bookstore and got it. So this is used. We did a book swap this past year. I gave her, so on Christmas, we don't always like buy each other gifts. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It depends on like what's going on in our lives, but we try to like do something for each other. So we did a book swap this year because we're both really into reading. And she picked for me Normal People, Anxious People, which I already owned. Unfortunately, my sister also bought me that. And This Is How You Lose the Time War. And I already had that one. So I only was able to grab one from her, but that's okay. I think I have too many books that I haven't read, and that's just not fair. I gave to her Nora Goes Off Script, which is my favorite romance of the year. Red Rising. And I also gave her Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I just recently finished and loved it. So I think she would love that one too. So that is number 10. Moving on to number 11, we've got ACOTAR. Yes, I need to start this series. I had intended to start this probably already. I did read all of Throne of Glass this past year. It was my second time reading it for some of the books, but I never got past like Empire of Storms, I think. So it was like a reread for some of them, but I need to read this. I think I can't like really, give recommendations and comparisons unless I read it. So I need to read ACOTAR. We're going to read it this year. It's even the first one feels really thick. I don't know. It's like intimidating because I'm afraid I'm like not going to like it. I don't know. It is also on audio though, which is nice. It's free on Audible if you have a subscription, which I do. So, Okay, number 12, I believe. If this is out of sorts, apologies. Mistborn. Yes, Mistborn. I definitely want to read that. Where is it? It's here. Brandon Sanderson. Definitely want to start my Brandon Sanderson journey this year. This is an epic fantasy novel, and the words are little. But I definitely want to read it. I think it's going to be a really good one. And I love like big epic fantasy worlds. So definitely want to read that one this year. Definitely want to start my Sanderson journey because there are so many books in that world and I just want to get immersed in it. Next we have Caraval. So Caraval is another similarly like popular fantasy novel that I've never read. This, I don't really remember what this is about. I think is this one about 2 sisters? Scarlet Dragna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long-dreamt of invitation finally arrives with the help of a mysterious sailor. Tella whisks Scarlet away to the show. So that seems fun. I think it's a Games and Trials. And I love Games and Trials, let's be honest. So definitely want to put that one like on the top of the list. There's quite a few books after that as well. I know a lot of these are starting new series, but that's how we are as readers, okay? The Nightingale. This is by Kristen Hanna. This is one of her books about war. I think this is the World War II one. Yes. It follows 2 sisters in World War II. Again, it's pretty thick, but I think that I will get immersed in this. I do love historical fiction and anything like historical-y. So excited to read that one. That was number 14, I think. 15 is Six of Crows. Okay, Six of Crows has been on my TBR a couple of times now and has not gotten read, which is sad. So Six of Crows, this is by Leigh Bardugo. I loved everything that I've read by Leigh Bardugo. I know that people do not like all of her stuff. I personally do. I think it's really good. I'm hoping this is as good. It's in the same world as, what is it called? It's the Grishaverse. You know what I'm talking about. So this is in the same world. It just follows some different characters. These characters were outlined in the show, but not in the books that it's supposed to follow. Like, I don't think these characters meet the other characters, and if they do, it's just in passing. But the show, I liked how they did it. And so I am interested to read this. I'm a little scared because of how well it is loved. Shadow and Bone. I've read the Shadow and Bone series. But I'm excited to read this. It's only a duology, so hopefully I will like it. But yeah, Six of Crows is definitely one that's on my list. One of these guys fell out. I believe this is 15, could be wrong. The Familiar, another book by Leigh Bardugo. That was what her release was this year. Also, one of my favorite books this past year was Ninth House and Hellbent. I love A Dark Academia. So good. And I like cannot wait to read the next book because I'm like, what's gonna happen to these characters? I really love those characters. Alex Stern is the best, but I also want to read The Familiar. It's a standalone, which I really appreciate, and it's like a historical fantasy, which I'm down with. Okay, next we have got Making It So by Patrick Stewart. Okay, Patrick Stewart is Jean-Luc Picard, if anyone knows. He is also Professor X in the X-Men series. And he's just like a really cool old dude. And I feel like he's got a lot of lessons to teach. And I'm just so interested to hear about his life and how he got started and how he chose his acting roles and how, you know, Star Wars was. I don't know. Or not Star Wars. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Star Trek. I love Star Trek. And so he came out with a memoir this year. I would love to read it. I'm probably going to get it on audio because his voice I love. But yeah, I definitely want to listen to that one this year. Next, we have got another memoir. So this one is interesting choice if you know me, but it's Oath and Honor by Liz Cheney. It's Liz Cheney's memoir. I'm not sure if it's a memoir or if it's like a political book, but it's basically about why she stood up to Donald Trump and why she did it and all of her reasons and her thoughts and her political thoughts. And I have worked in politics for a really long time. I don't anymore, but I did for many years. I've worked on a few elections, and I'm just really interested to hear what she has to say. I know that, like, I'm not going to agree with most of it, but I think it's important to read the thoughts of others, and so you can better understand your own political thoughts and feelings. So I'm definitely going to read that one. I probably will listen to that as well. I prefer to listen to memoirs. I find them kind of hard to read, especially if I'm like wanting to read fantasy. I don't know. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Okay, so this one I'm actually buddy reading in January, so it will definitely get read. But this is a book by Gabrielle Zevin. It's been on my list for way too long. My cousin's wife and I are going to read this one together. She also owns it. So we're going to do a buddy read in January, but this is about two people who make a video game together, and I believe it spans 30 years of their lives. And the reason I find this one interesting is because it's a love story, not about love. So not about it's more like friendship love. So I'm definitely excited to read this one. It's definitely been on my list forever, and I love the cover. I think the cover is so cool. I don't know why. Okay, next we have got Baby X. Okay, this one is one that I did buy on audio. This is a science fiction novel about DNA splicing, I think. I feel like that's what it is. It could be completely wrong. If I'm wrong, so sorry. I know it's one that I really wanted to read, though. It's been on my list for a while, and I do love science fiction. Sometimes it's harder to read science fiction when all you have are fantasy books, so that's on there. Next, we have got Lady Macbeth. This one is also one that is on its way to me. This is by Ava Reed. It is a retelling of sorts of Macbeth from Lady Macbeth's perspective. And I'm very interested to see what this book is like. I just read Circe. I didn't love Circe as much as I thought I would. That's like a retelling of the goddess Circe. I do have also the Achilles book. I don't know where that is. Oh, Song of Achilles. I do plan to read that this year, but it's not like a 25 and 25 kind of thing. So I was just so intrigued when that book came out. Another one I could maybe suggest for my month of reading, although I don't think a lot of people really like Cersei in my book club, so maybe not. Billy Summers. Okay, this one is a Stephen King novel, and I put this in here because I'm not really a big horror reader. I have read a couple of horror books in my life, mostly because I had to for school, because I'm from Maine, and Stephen King is from Maine, but he wrote this like spy novel. Chances are, if you're a target of Billy Summers, 2 immutable truths apply. You'll never even know what hit you, and you're really getting what you deserve. So he's like a contract killer, not a spy. And he's doing like one last job, and it just really intrigues me to read something not horror by Stephen King, because all I have read by him is horror, I believe. I know he has a lot of non-horror novels, but this one is like one of the newest, and I want to read it. I also do have Fairy Tale up here. I'm not sure if I put that in 25 or 25. I don't think I did. Okay, next we've got Zodiac Academy. So very similar to Alex Stern and Ninth House, which, by the way, I currently live in New Haven, Connecticut, and that's where Ninth House is set, which is probably why I also really like it so much, because I'm like, they actually talk about like different things here, which is cool. But Zodiac Academy is a 9-book series, and it is a spicy fantasy, dark academia novel that I want to try. Everyone talks about it. I want to try it, okay? Next, we've got The Silent Patient. So this is by Alex Michaelides. I may have said that wrong. I may have said that right. I'm not sure. But I have had this for a while. A couple of my friends have said that they really like it. This is not the kind of book that I usually read. It's like thrillery, but the book I'm writing is a thriller. So I should probably read more thrillers, and that's my reasoning. And I own it. And then this might be the last one. It might not. I'm going to count these at the end because that did not work out. Oh, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So this is kind of like a science fiction classic. It's been around for a while. I'm definitely really excited to read that one. It is on the way to me now. I don't know. I saw someone else talking about it, and I was like, you know, I haven't read that, and I should. So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is maybe number 25. And let me count these and see if we actually got through all 25. 1. All right, that was 25. I did it. So they're all back in the cup and ready for me to film my TBR right now. I'm very excited about it. Yay. But yeah, that's the 25. I have too many cups here, you guys. I have too many little cups. Anyway, that's the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. There will be links for everything down below. I encourage you to first shop at your local bookstore if you can afford it. And yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoy your video, or enjoy this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to read in 2025. What do I need to add to my list? Because maybe I'll make like a new category, number 7, of recommended to me by people on the internet. By comments, internet comments. But that is it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.